Today I'm going to be planting my runner beans. It's a bit too early to plant runner beans outside actually because they're killed by frost, so I'm going to have to be very careful and protect them every time there's a frost, but as you can see they're getting so tall that I haven't really got any choice. So this is the area where earlier in the year we were digging our trench and filling it with vegetable peelings from the kitchen, and as you can see I've changed my mind a bit about how I'm going to support them. I've set up a frame here with a couple of poles that I cut off a tree earlier in the year when I had to prune one of my trees, and as you can see I've got some strings attached between the two poles and hanging down. I've got two sorts of runner beans here. I've got Scarlet Emperor, which is an old garden favourite with red flowers, and then I've got Enorma, which is a white flowered runner bean. So what I'm doing is I'm planting them alternately. So when you're planting plants out, firstly you need to make sure that the compost that they're in is nice and moist. Otherwise, when you water them afterwards, it won't necessarily soak into the compost that you've got directly surrounding the plant's roots. It's particularly important when you are planting out ones that have got cardboard on. So these Scarlet Emperor ones have been planted into toilet roll tubes, and you can see that the roots are already coming through the toilet roll tube, which is absolutely fantastic. So what I'll be doing is I'll be taking off the top centimetre of cardboard to make sure that that doesn't show above the soil surface. A bit awkward to do with one hand. You'll make a much better job of it. And the reason that I'm doing that is because once the plant is planted, I don't want the cardboard there at the soil surface wicking water up out of the soil to evaporate through the cardboard at the soil surface. I want that cardboard to be completely buried in the soil so it can stay moist and rot away properly and not form a barrier to the roots. So what we're going to do here, this is where I wish that I'd held the phone in my left hand rather than my right hand. So I'm just going to dig a little hole, easy as pie, into the soft earth that we've been making our trench out of. Pop it in, get the soil back, and you'll notice I've got some dangling strings here. That's for them to grow up. I could have used poles instead. If you're making a wigwam, that's really great. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to tie the string loosely around the base of the plant. So if you look at this one that I planted just a minute ago, here we are, tied on loosely, and then I've twirled the plant around the string. It will do that itself given a couple of days or a week, but they're never really happy until they've started to climb, and so I'm giving these ones a bit of a head start by winding them around the strings myself. So there we are, all planted and watered, and hopefully those will grow up and make a wonderful tall flowering screen for the den that we've made out of the chicken house.